Oh, hello, all my wonderful broskies and broskies on the Maverick Nation, and welcome to What If Izuku Was Scorpion, Part 2. Basically, What If Izuku Was Scorpion, Part 2. Welcome to that. Last time I checked, we left off at the UA entrance exam. Alright, at the practical exam part. And I think I got a handle on which Sub-Zero is which. You know, which Sub-Zero is Noob Saibot and which Sub-Zero is current Sub-Zero. So yeah, basically everything would happen, but Bakugo would just, and everybody else would just be like, nope, whenever the Zero Porter came out. Excuse me. But Izuku would hear Ochako basically being like, help! And Izuku would be like, well, shit. He would just basically Hellfire teleportation. And as soon as the Hellfire teleported, like the particle effects would kind of nag, like snag onto the zero pointer and would do like some chip damage, which would like keep the zero pointer from moving any more forward, like continuous chip damage. And Izuku would just take his time and he would just be like, he would just, throw his kunai out, just like shoot it and be like, would speed him over there, over to Recovery Girl, and he would basically put Ochako on the whole bed thing for Recovery Girl to like take care of her. And that's whenever things would get to a certain level. You know, because Izuku would want to finish off that zero pointer. He'd be like, let's do this shit. He'd be ready. And it would actually be here at this point where Izuku would figure a little bit of something about himself. He could feel it like bellowing in his chest, like a brewing of a storm, like something like trying to erupt out and like flail all around him as like some uncontrollable storm of power. And so, just like a bunch of hellfire just revs up in his hands, and he's like, what was that quote? Oh yeah, now I remember. He'd be like Scorpion, he'd be like, I will crush your bones. And the zero pointer, because the zero pointer is freaking stupid, would just like try to come towards over there, like try to like go towards him, and Izuku would just be like send out a big fireball, and it, like just like a giant fire skull. He just like he shoots it instead of fireballs, it's fire skulls, and it would just smack the zero pointer. But like he would have to send out several fire skulls, but they wouldn't really be doing the trick because this is like really thick metal. This is like really thick, strong metal that the zero pointer is made out of here. So he has to be like really fierce, you know. He has to think, how exactly is he going to do this? But then he feels like It's like his every single fiber of his body is on fire. It's like all of his body, even his soul, spirit, heart, everything is on fire. This isn't any fire. This isn't even. I don't. He doesn't even think that this is his quirk's fire. Well, if it is, it's like almost like his quirk is evolving into like something new. Like it isn't just plain hellfire. He can like bring it up a level and like turn like nether fire. That's what he calls it. He calls it nether fire. And as soon as he's like, and he just about to like shoot like a skull of nether fire, and it blasts it right in the face. It's like the entire thing just gets covered in nether fire, and the nether fire just burns. The nether fire is like the only way I can really explain it. It's like if you had like Elder God level Amaterasu, like like Amaterasu, the Sharingan ability, but like Elder God level, like on steroids. And it's just like just a huge bursts of freaking nether fire. Like nether fire is like the next level above hellfire, just regular hellfire. Nether fire is like just it's like amped up to the next level. And so basically Izuku's like just like throwing up like a freaking darts and nether fire, and it just starts to smother the 0 pointer until there's nothing left. It like roasts the entire area. Like drowns it, smothers it in nether fire. And so basically he just realizes he has two different kinds of fire that he can attack with. Like if he's wanting to like go for like quick hits, he can use his regular hellfire. But if he wants to go for like big blasts, like to go out in the open, he can like shoot up his nether fire, because he's starting to realize the hellfire is like less powerful versions of the nether fire stuff. So yeah, that's basically he just realizes. Well, he realizes that. He's just like, yeah, that's a thing. Like Izuku's just he just goes and like he just goes home, and he does a whole thing. Well, before he goes home, he actually goes to the dojo because he has like dojo lessons, and even like freaking like he crosses paths with Bakugo, and what Bakugo explains to Izuku why like they're crossing paths isn't because of like a shortcut. It's because this is kind of the basically in different directions is kind of the way to that dojo, like secret area where he's supposed to do his training. And Izuku's like, training under who? And Bakugo's just like, well, whenever he was once completely alive, he went under the name of Bihan. And Izuku's like, what do you mean once fully alive? Oh, Bihan, that name. That, because he knows, he remembers hearing, just from passing by Scorpion, whenever they were like, doing the whole thing, like dispersing because the test was over, you remembers hearing like Scorpion talks to somebody and like they said something about like a Bihan and a Kuai Liang and like Grandmaster this and like, Cyborg Lin Kuei and all sorts of crazy shit. And so, you know, like Bakugo is also speaking like, and if I'm successful enough, if I am the strongest out of all of them, I'll be granted the Lin Kuei crest by Grandmaster Bihan. Well, technically, it would be like his version of the Lin Kuei crest. There's like two different Lin Kuei crests. There's like the legit Lin Kuei crest, and then there's like Bihan's Lin Kuei crest. Because the Sub-Zero that's alive now is Kuai Liang. That is the current Sub-Zero. And so he would have the legit Lin Kuei crest. And the Lin Kuei crest that Bihan would give Bakugo would be like a Revenant version of the Lin Kuei crest. Because that's what new Saibot is. He's a Revenant. So it would be like a Revenant version of the like Sub Zero's, his brother's Lin Kuei crest. It would be a Revenant version. Yeah, basically that's how Bakugo explains that. And so basically Izuku's like, so you're getting trained by freaking Bihan, the brother of like the current Sub Zero? Holy shit. Dude, high five! And then, someone else would just come across them because, they were just in one area. And then they would just be like, big deal. And Izuku would be like, what the hell do you mean, big deal? And, the person would just look at him, and Izuku would realize a burn mark on their face. But this person would just be like, that guy thinks that because he's being trained by the original Sub-Zero makes him so great. Well, it doesn't make you great. It makes you a loser. It makes you weak. Besides, the Lin Kuei don't need a relationship with the Shirai Ryu to be strong. So says the Elder Gods. And also, you ever really wonder why your father never died? Izuku? And Izuku's just like, oh, so people from our dojo have been giving out secrets about shit like, nobody can keep secrets nowadays, it seems. It seems as nowadays nobody can keep secrets. And Spaga goes to just like shut Todoroki up. And he's actually set pretty successfully, just bam! Just like, there's a good old left hook. Instead of a right hook, it's a left hook. And Shoto's like, what, how the hell did you? And then like Shoto actually realizes that there's some black residue from behind where Bakugo was. So it's almost like some sort of revenant teleportation move that he did there. And Shoto's like, holy shit, he's able to use special attacks of his freaking Grandmaster. Oh my god. I'm not even able to pull that shit yet. Like, the most I've been taught is like the freaking ice slide. And I'm pretty like already good with the ice side myself. Like sliding on ice, that should be something normal. Like, okay. Like, how come Grandmaster Sub Zero never trusts me with being able to learn how to ice teleport. And yet you know how to revenant teleport? And Bakugo's like, I like, you know, freaking Bihan wasn't the only one training me how to revenant teleport. I also did a little bit of self learning and was able to find it out even faster. But by the way, you're whining about your own teleportation. You don't sound very smart at all. So yeah, let's just not even bother being anywhere near this loser, Izuku. And Izuku's like, but isn't he like a student of your, teacher's brother? I mean, he's like a student of Kuai Liang, right? Yes, like current Sub Zero, right? Because he's the Grandmaster of the Lin Kuei, right? The current Grandmaster. And, you know, Shoto's just like, how did he know that Kuai Liang was. Yes, that is true, but it's nothing you need to worry yourselves about. It's not like it will even matter, anyways. And then he just gets another, oh, and that's like that one he like partially blocks and like throws Bakugo out of the way. Like, he still gets hit, but he also throws Bakugo out, and it's just like freaking ice slides into Bakugo and hits him a couple times. And Bakugo is just getting manhandled right now because he just got thugged on. He's just getting thugged on by Todoroki. Like Shoto was just beating the shit out of him. And Izuku's like, well, it's like, and then like right in front of him, like just like boom, just like a very very powerful left hook from Izuku, just like teleports, like grabs him, jumps up in the air while grabbing him, and then punches him down, like while they're still in the air. So, Jesus Christ! And then he's coming down, and then like he punches down, but out of desperation, Todoroki finally learns how to ice teleport, and he like misses. And but it's like an ice teleportation and an ice clone, so like Izuku gets frozen, but then he's like, "Oh yeah, that's right, activate Nether Fire." And he's like, and the only thing that Shoto can really use to like help himself is like Flash Freeze. And so the flash freeze and the burst of nether fire just collide with each other. And, just Bakugo was watching in amazement as, like, Izuku just picked this fight up right where he left off. Like, damn, son. Just damn. Jesus. Lordy, lordy. I'm a ton for 40. Woo! And, even Izuku's like, I know Grandmaster Scorpion told me not to, like to only use this if absolutely necessary, but I'm not gonna let this guy beat up my friend and get away with it. And Shoto's like, so what are you gonna do? I was like, what are you gonna do? And he's like, I'll give you one good guess as to what I'm gonna do. And here's your hint. Get over here! And he just yoink, and like Detroit Smash! And just, I was like, you knocked that guy out 3 different times! Yeah, Shoto did not expect for Izuku to have that much proficiency in the, uh, in Scorpion's freaking kunai. Like, uh, like, according to like freaking Shoto, what Shoto knows, he had no idea anyone else even knew how to use that thing that well. Like, it's just like shit. Like, Kuai Liang didn't tell him anything about like Hanzo Hasashi having anyone else who knew how to use his thing. Like, shit. And Bakugo's like, I should probably get over to Grandmaster Bihan. If I'm not over there soon, um, I'm afraid what he would do. And so he's just like freaking revenant teleportation. Like, he just revenant teleports. Because, yeah, now Bakugo is kind of getting the hang of it. The revenant teleportation. And so, he would just revenant teleport all the way in. And Bihan would be like, took you long enough. And Bakugo would be like, shit. And Bihan would just be like, Bihan would just be like, what happened to you? It looked like you ran into a 18-wheeler. And just freaking Bakugo states, I got into a little bit of a scuffle with, uh, apparently your brother has a little bit of a pet. And he sent him over there to sick on me, basically. For me to get sicked on? Well, that's what it seemed like from the way that he was acting. But, you know, my friend Izuku, he's a really nice friend. It's just like Bihan is just like your friend. Who is your friend? And Bakugo's just like he's a member of the Chiraiyu. In fact, he's their Grandmaster's son. Grandmaster Hanzo Hasashi, also known as Grandmaster Scorpion. And, Bihan would just be like, oh, yes. He saved you? You couldn't defend yourself? And Bakugo's like, no, Grandmaster, no. Sorry. No, sir, no. He just, like, does not know what to say in front of his Grandmaster. He's like, shit, like, what do I do? Like, guys, Bihan's new Saibot is freaking ruthless. He is a ruthless sensei. He is like cutthroat as all hell. And whenever Shoto gets over to Kuai Liang, his Grandmaster sensei person, he's just like, Grandmaster? And basically Kuai Liang is like, yes. He's just like, uh, what is the meaning of this? Why do you look like that, Shoto? And Shoto was he's just like, uh, the Shiraiyu kid kind of kicked my ass. Please don't tell him I said that. Like I admitted that. And Kuai Liang is like, hmm. Like, it's just like, and it's just like freaking Kuai Liang is just looking at Shoto, and he's just like, you picked the fight with him, didn't you? And, Shoto was like, actually, no. I sort of got into a little bit of a thing with that one kid who your brother Grandmaster Bihan is training. And, Kuai Yang is like, wait, uh, my brother's, uh, uh, my brother's student? You got into a scuffle with him, and that's how you got your ass handed to you by Scorpion's student. Like, how does that make any sense? And so Shoto has to basically explain this all to freaking Kuai Liang, who is just looking intensely like, yes, yes, go on. He's like, oh, but that's just okay. And by the end of it, he's just like, well, that's just that's just really freaking sad. You really do need more training, Shoto. But at least you did indeed learn how to not only freeze teleport, but create an ice clone. I hadn't even been training you on that. So I guess a little bit of freelance combat taught you well. Maybe we should get more volunteers. And Shoto's like, by volunteers, do you mean more people that you just find off the street? Street thugs, and freeze them, bring them over here, defreeze them, and have me fight them? And, it's like, just like freaking, it's all freaking crazy. And so basically, freaking Grandmaster Scorpion, Grandmaster Hanzo Hasashi is just like, this is after Izuku explained everything in great detail, like everything. And, Grandmaster Hanzo Hasashi, Grandmaster Scorpion, is just like, indeed. Well, that's interesting. Hmm. Well, more training. And Izuku's like, okay, okay, more training, I guess. He's like, okay, yes, Sensei. Yes, yes, Sensei, indeed, more training. And so, whenever everyone's days of training are done, they go to their houses and base. Like, for those of you who are wondering, like, if, like, the parents know about the whole training thing, well, Inko knows about the training because, you know, Izuku said he wanted to, find, like, training, like, thing. Like, I guess referred to part one if I explained it in part one. But, like, part one's like an hour and something long, so, yeah, I should have been able to explain it in there somewhere. So Ingo pretty does indeed know about most things, not everything, especially about the fact that the Grandmaster of the thing is her husband and the father of their child, because, Scorpion has his very good reasons why he would not want her to know that, not want Inko to know that. And as for Bakugo and his training with Bihan, well, Bakugo has a very rough and tough time explaining, like, his whole training thing with Bihan, the previous Sub-Zero. And Mitsuki is just not having it. She's like this close to like cutting hairs with this Bihan person. And her freaking husband, whatever the hell his name is the only reason why she hasn't marched all the way over to like the Linquay Temple thing and tried to go fisticuffs with Bihan. So yeah, that's the thing. And on the whole thing with Shoto and being trained by Kuai Liang, the current Sub-Zero, well, do you really think Endeavor gives a shit? Like, why would he give a shit? Like, Shoto's becoming stronger. I mean, he wants his masterpiece to be able to defeat All Might, so why wouldn't he let Kuai Liang train him? Like, if Kuai Liang can, like, get Shoto's eyesight up to stat, and, like stuff to do with physical training, Endeavor can also help with physical training, but Endeavor is able to a lot easier help with the fire side, and now he has Kuai Liang to help with the eyesight, and they both have, like, the physical training, so, yeah, Shoto, in Endeavor's mind, Shoto is set as hell. So he has no problems with Kuai Liang being the freaking, like, Kuai Liang, the current Grandmaster, actual Grandmaster of the True Lin Kuei, being Shoto's teacher for his eyesight thing. And, so yeah, that's the thing. That is a very thingy thing. But this is where I'm not going to leave it off here. I actually might have some sort of a ship for you guys. Maybe, maybe not. No one knows, not yet. But it's just like, you know, Izuku is like, let me try to think of how to explain this. Izuku is like, you know, it's basically been the first day of UA, and basically, everyone like that makes it into class 1A and class 1B makes it into class 1, like 1A and 1B. Everyone makes it in who makes it in. No real, like, differences. Like, it's just that. But of course, like, also the different, like, grandmasters would also congratulate them in the fact that they made it into the hero school that they wanted to go to. You know, Kuai Liang would congratulate Sub-Zero. Kuai Liang would congratulate Shoto. Kuai Liang is freaking Sub-Zero. Nihon would congratulate Bakugo very hesitantly because, he really doesn't care. He doesn't really give a shit about being, nice. And, like, it would just be like one of those moments, like, Hanzo, Asashi, Scorpion would congratulate Izuku, and it would just be like, maybe whenever, like, later on in the day, whenever it's just you and me, we can do something special. I was like, my treat. After all, you did make it in, and plus you've been doing pretty awesome in the classes. Like, you're not just, you know, Izuku Midoriya of the Shirai Ryu for nothing, and you've shown that. Like, he's been doing pretty good in the classes, and he's doing pretty good in making it into UA. Not just UA, but Class 1A of UA. Like, Hanzo tells him, like, he basically was informed by whoever that Izuku was going to get specifically into Class 1A of UA. And so, like, a special treat, but, like, later on, whenever they're to themselves. And so, yeah. But just so happens during that certain treat, like, Hanzo and Izuku, they would have just gone out to like freaking eat, like just have something to eat, like, you know, just father son, and Izuku would just be like, he would just be enjoying himself, and Hanzo wouldn't be, he would be enjoying himself too. They'd be having good times, and let's just say like Hanzo would start to smell something. He would smell something, almost like an acidic smell. He's thinking reptile. He's like, reptile. That's crazy, son of a. What did I tell him last time we met? Like that I would rip his head off. He's like, reptile. He's just like listening in because reptile could like turn himself invisible, so he's listening for any disturbances. Being on ninja stealth, like trying to seem as calm as possible. You know, to be able to get on the jump on reptile before reptile could get the jump on him, because he pretty much is like 99.9% sure that it's reptile that he's like smelling this acid off from. And, well, actually, he's wrong. He ends up almost karate chopping someone's head off. And Izuku's like, whoa, what the? And, his hand is just right in front of the neck of some pink skinned person. And they're just like, sorry, um, Mr. What was your name? Oh, uh, Grandmaster Hisashi. My apologies. She's being all formal and shit, like whoever this lady is. Like, she looks around Izuku's edge and just like, Hanzo was just looking over to Izuku's like, son, do you know this person? And this pink skinned person is just like, what, you're the son of Grandmaster Scorpion? Grandmaster Hanzo Hasashi? You're his son? And like, Izuku's like, well, try to put two and two together. Why would I be eating with him? Look, and not to be mean and anything, but common sense. And the pink skinned person would just be like, "Oh yeah, that's right. It's so sorry." Anyways, I was trying to use uh my sensei's teachings to their fullest effect. Uh, if that set something off, I'm terribly sorry. Well, seeing as you are Hanzo Hasashi, my sensei has said some things about you. Not all of them are great, but it's not like anything like really bad. And Hanzo Hisashi is just like, just spill it, girl. And Izuku's like, Dad, come on, not cool. And the girl is just like, my name is Mina Ashida, and my master's name, Grandmaster Reptile. And Scorpion is just like, huh? What is he the Grandmaster of? Like, literally, that would be his first response. Like, what is he the Grandmaster of? Well, Mina would go on to explain about how, like, the whole thing about his, like, dying off race, like, how most of them are dead. Like, he would forge a new, like, kind of clan from the ground up. like of people with similar abilities to him. Mina has her acid. Reptile can use acid. So, Mina was a good he was looking around and, saw Mina, saw her quirk was acid, and he was like, sure, whatever. And so that explains that. So Mina basically just explained, you know, I I am being trained under the tutelage of Grandmaster Reptile. And well, if you're wondering, the style in which he's teaching me in is sort of a mix of the classic Shaolin monk and traditional ninjutsu. And Hanzo's ears perk up at this, and so do his eyes. Classical mix, like a mix of classical Shaolin monk and classical, traditional Shaolin monk training and classical ninjutsu, like a classical version of ninjutsu. That's it's a mix of two different styles and a very formal one at that. Yes. I would indeed like to see how you two would par up against each other. He's like, he just literally just said he would like to see them fight in like the middle of a public place. And Izuku's like, Dad, sometimes I'm beginning to think that you're forgetting where you are, like what time period we're in and where you are. And Hanzo was like, oh, sorry about that. And then all of a sudden, like out of a cloud of poison, you just see. And if you're wondering if I'm going for like the more reptilian reptile look or like the more ninja reptile look, more ninja because I like ninja. So it's like this is like Scorpion. You wish to test the skills of my tutelage against yours. And like Hanzo was like, no, I was wanting to test my son's skills against your student's skills. And Reptile was like, yes, that would seem very, very something that Mina would like. And Mina's like, you don't have to give everyone away my preferences. Like, Mina actually kind of does like the traditional Mortal Kombat style of the way things are done. She's into it. It's actually like a thrill seeking thing. It's like a blood rush. It's like an adrenaline. Like it gets you in the zone, if you know what I mean. It's like something that's Mina has always found that got her in the zone. She was always in the zone. And eventually, like, Reptile ended up revealing to her why that is. Apparently, Reptile, he's like, I used to know this chameleon person. No, no, not literally, their name was Chameleon. She was, she was like me. And, well, from the way you're picking up this fighting style, and the way she picked it up, used it, I'm beginning to think you might be slightly related to her. And eventually, like, Mina figures out that she is indeed a distant relative of Chameleon. Or was, because it turns out that, like, in the current times, Chameleon's dead. That's why Reptile spoke of her in the way that he did. Because, it's like, another person like me who's dead? I was like, Jesus, come on, guys. Like, what the hell? And so basically, yeah, Mina would bow, Izuku would bow, and even Scorpion would be like, Reptile, good on ya. And they would both bow to each other. And they'd be all like, hi! And then they'd just all split. Like, yeah, that's where I'm going to end it. Because Alonzi and Adassus, Alonzi and Adassus, because the Dark Shadow Maverick is OUT out of here. You boys, bye.